Welcome everybody to day 14 of 31 Days of May here on the channel as we're moving on to another day, and this time we're going to do some Journey of Wrestling, continuing the beginning of our AWA save. And just to remind folks where we are, our last event there was AWA Wrestling for the Cure, which I guess I'll have to rename. Anyway, we had Cactus Jack defeating Brian Jewell. We had Northern Barbarian defeating Boris Zukov. We had Ono Hart defeating Steve Regal. We had Greg Ganja defeating Nick Bockwinkel. We had Kurt Hennig defeat Big Van Vader. With Larry Zybyko defeated Tommy Ricci to win back the AWA America's Heavyweight Championship, and with the Fabulous Ones defeating the Road Warriors with powering via distraction by Rick Martel to retain the AWA Southern Tag Team and AWA World Tag Team Champions. We had Ray Stevens defeat Jerry Lawler in a violent street fight, I'm guessing via some screwy stuff, and Rick Martel defeating Randy Savage to retain the AWA World title. So, and then if we go back to our booking, we have next up is Super Clash. And we got Savage versus Martel, Ray Stevens versus Jerry Lawler, Fabulous Ones versus Road Warriors, Nick Bockwinkel and the Ray Stevens versus the Road Warriors, Blackwell versus Savage, Tommy Rich versus Larry Zybyko, Blackwell versus Martel, Greg Ganja versus Nick Bockwinkel, and Boris Zukov versus Northern Barbarian. And we got Rick Martel wanting to train Charisma, which what we're doing. We got Paul Gardner wanting to put Boris Zukov over clean, sure, and Larry Zybyko wanting to be managed. So we're going to do a couple of those things as we go rolling here. So let's just go just a little bit of booking, and let's take care of the stuff that we can right at the start of the show here. So, Boris Zukov, where are you, buddy? I know you're somewhere in here. Okay, we'll pick up Paul Gardner here first, and then Boris, where are you? Are you that over? I guess you are, huh? Okay. And then we'll go ahead and add a post segment. Yeah, this is just going to be a fight because honestly, I don't trust either of these guys with the mic. Producer focus just in case. And then we'll do a feud promo from Jerry Lawler. Sort of put over a feud with Stevens and that he got cheated out. And then we'll have another singles match as Cactus Jack defeats Bobby Duncombe Sr. I have not booked Cornell De Beers once. Huh. Okay. I mean, for obvious reasons, I don't really want to use it, but okay, that's interesting. But yeah, the only thing other thing we're going to do here is under manager. Is Feel Martel as his new manager. And then our main event is going to be a continuation of the feud, but in an interesting way, as Animal will take on. Oh, right. I forgot. I need, if I'm going to do the blow for the Stevens Lawler match, I can't do. Okay. It's going to be Animal versus. Where are they? Where are our tag team champions? There they are. Stanley. And that's our show. So we got building up Cactus, an opening match we just need to have, and then Boris is Nord. So approaching Lawler, basically setting up Lawler Stevens one more time. And there we go. Nothing too fancy here. And we'll just start the show. So Zukov goes over. Perfectly good 2.5 star match. 2 and 3/4 star match. Then we have Boris and Zukov immediately fighting, which gets 15% because, well, it's these two guys. We got Jerry Lawler in a promo. And then, yeah, basically putting over, saying he wants one more match against Stevens. We got Cactus Jack going over Bobby Duncombe Jr. We got Larry Zybyko announcing Rick Martel as his new manager, which gets 100%. And then our main event, we have Animal defeating Stan Lane to set up them versus, and to set up them one more time battling for the tag titles. And overall, this was not, it's a 20. I'm going to guess we're going to lose like 10,000 fans. And Survey says, come on, you can do it. You can do it. There's one downside of, but yeah, let me see if there's anything. Yeah, okay, so we lost 2 rep as we lost 5,000 fans. That makes sense. Again, part of this is like building new people up. All right, so, okay, potential negotiation, Bush Miller, King Tonga, I mean, maybe. And yeah, okay. So I got 8 segments here, which will be good. So we can do a talk show. Where is it? Talk show. There we go. Okay. As is going to be Randy Savage, who still's a babyface, at least for now. Rick Martel. And doing the interviewing will be none other than not Sherry. I honestly don't know who here. Because nobody with really 3 stars. Ask her. We'll do a beginning of King's Court since we already have the main events. All right. And then our main event will be Kurt Hennig versus Crusher Jerry Blackwell. We're going to have Jimmy Garvin taking on Cactus Jack. I'm going to have a segment where basically Fabulous Ones and the Road Warriors fight. I mean, yeah, nothing fancy here, just sort of setting things up. Let's see here. We'll have production to put over the event. We'll have a, oh yeah, that's what we can do another tag team match, is we'll have Riganj. Oh yeah, we can do a so we got Nick Bockwinkel, Larry Zybyko, and of course Ray Stevens, wherever he happens to be here. Where are you? I'm sure I just went right over him. Our teammate, yeah, okay, he is over here. Okay, and they can take on, of course, Tommy Rich, Greg Gagne, and undercard babyface. I guess Doug Summer. Well, no, here we go. Brad Reddington, because he's a jabroni, but he's also like one of our top babyfaces. All right, so that can be our main event. We'll add a few to this Blackwell Hennig match. Just to throw it on there. Okay, so we got Hawk Animal, Martel, Waller, Savage. Honestly, just to so people are reminded of this, well, if Kenny Devine take on Medusa for the women's title on a random show. We'll have a segment where there's a promo battle between Jim Garvin and Cactus Jack. And that'll be our show. So event package, AWA World Championship, Fabulous Ones. Yeah, I think that's a solid show before Super Clash. So we start out. And our video package, which gets us a 70%, not bad. And I forgot to add a producer, because yeah, all right. So here we go. We're just putting Medusa over 2.5 stars, nothing fancy. AWA Women's World Champion lost 10, but whatever. Perfectly fine match. Medusa's happier. Yeah. Then we got our fight between the Fabulous Ones and the Road Warriors, which was 75%, 3.5 stars. Overness, morale, good overness morale change. Added some 23 lightning bolts to the feud. Good stuff. And then we'll have, oops, I forgot I did a bad. Well, okay, actually, this can be something interesting. As we have Garvin cheating to win. And then we have Garvin and Cactus Jack arguing, which only gets a 50%, which I'm not surprised at because Jimmy Garvin's not the best promo guy and Cactus Jack is not quite Cactus Jack yet. And then, we'll have Kurt Hennig get the win here. Sort of like, 3-star, shock the world, and that can sort of start the feud off as Blackwell can be pissed off afterwards. And then we can have our talk show where it's Jerry Lawler with Savage and Martel. And, it seems to be a face appreciation society, but there's a lot of tension between everybody as everybody wants the belt, but they have to be respectful about it. Then our main event, sorry, heels go over, 3.5 stars, perfectly good match. Yeah, nothing too fancy here, just a perfectly solid card to build things up before Super Clash. And we're ending the event. 3 stars, 25, so still probably going to lose some fans. I'm going to guess, let's say 3,000, 3,500. Okay, 4,000. Yeah, not great. And yeah, we're down from still not popular. Again, part of this is we're just rebuilding everybody, which is unfortunate, but it takes some time. So we got 12 matches here, and let's see what happened. Okay. Cunningham, do you realize 1980? It's 1985. We're not doing intergender wrestling. Sorry, buddy. Starts time to book. So let's go over the stuff that we can do here. So we got Savage versus Martel, Rich versus Zybyko, which is going to be a blow off. Stevens Lawler, which can still go, I guess, a little while longer. Gagne Bachwinkle, Boris Nord, Crusher Kurt. Then we go to the tag teams. Fabulous Ones versus Road Warriors. And there you go. All right, so. And then if we sort of build our card out here. Okay, so we got 5 spots left. We want to do some stuff. Actually, let me just throw that stuff in first. Because of what we're going to do for the finish. So we got production. So it's going to be a feud package focusing on Savage and Martel. And then we'll have a segment. All right, that's the other match I wanted to do. I don't want to have Owen not on TV, but like, there's nobody really from the face for the. I mean, here we'll just do a face versus face match as part of the show, and that can be sort of a fun little match here. And then we can do a tag team match. No, actually, here we go. A 3-on-3 match. Where it's going to be Jerry Sags. Where's his partner? Brian Knobs and Jimmy Garvin taking on the face team of Cactus Jack. And this is where the problems begin because we have. Wait. No, okay, he's a face as well. All right. Yeah, everybody's a face heel. So, Brad Reddingkins and Paul Gardner. All right. So, yeah, let's move this up. This up. Yeah. Go. This up. Okay. Then our other segments are our, well, let's say this can be, yeah, this can be a non-gimmick match. This is going to be a blow off. So actually I want to move this up and add the gimmick of it being a, how many little, okay, we can easily do 2 out of 3 falls match. So then there we go. We'll add that. Do a segment here of a post-match attack. We'll just do attack here. Richard Blackwell going after Rick Martel. Go. A lot of producer for that. And I think that's our show. So we got 6-man tag open things. We have Owen Hart defending the World Light Heavyweight title versus Doug Summers. We have North Barbarian versus Borzukov in their little feud. Actually, let me just add a little bit of fun stuff. This can be just a street fight just for fun. We got Kurt Angle versus Crusher Jerry Backlund, basically a rematch. Nick Bockwinkel versus Greg Gagne. Jerry Lawler versus Rick Stevens. Fabulous One versus Road Warriors. For the oops, I forgot to add another title. There we go. Both titles, because they're, unofficially, not officially combined yet. And then 2 out of 3 falls matches, Zybyko versus Rich to blow out their feud. Rick Martel versus Randy Savage for the World Heavyweight title. And that's our show. So let's get rolling. Let's see, what does the... Okay, so we got... Interesting. I mean, I don't care, but yeah, we'll go. So, heels go over. Again, perfectly fine match, 3.5 match. Yeah. Owen Hart goes over. 3 2/4 stars match. Like, again, not the best match, but hey, hopefully there'll be some mail that'll help me actually build a light heavyweight division here. Then we got Nord versus Borzukov. Let's see here. Nord wins again. 3 stars. Oof, Boris is stale. That's unfortunate. So we got Kurt versus Crusher, and in a rematch, Crusher is going to get the win here. A little under 4 stars, but a very big win for Crusher. And there we go. Let's see here. I am going to give Bockwinkel a win here via some shadiness, because he's Nick Bockwinkel. 3.5 stars, and yeah. I mean, he's still Bockwinkel, so, Gagne is going to get the total squash victory over him. We got Lawler versus Stevens. Ooh, I should have, spread these out, but, so Stevens gets a matter of revenge. Jerry Lawler gets a matter of revenge as he defeats Stevens by countout, as when Ray Stevens basically walks out of the match. This gets 4.5 stars. These 2 guys are great. 13 stars. Good stuff. And here we go. Then, okay, so Fabulous Ones have held the titles for 2 months. They have I think this is going to be a schmoz. Can I do a schmoz here? Not really. What we can do is a double pin. And 4.5 stars. Builds everything up. Yeah, everybody gets more over. And there we go. And that can continue the build up for the final blow off of this. And then, unfortunately for Tommy Rich, Zybyko just wins here. Almost 4.5 stars. It goes 3 falls, regardless of what the game here says. But yeah, Zybyko gets the big win here, is the America's champion, as hopefully somebody comes back from their injury pretty soon. And then we have a feud package about Savage and Martel's feud, which only gets a 50%, unfortunately. And then here's the interesting thing. So first what's going to happen is interference DQ. It's going to be Crusher coming in and running in officially on Savage. So 3.5 stars, which sort of hurts things, but what I want to do here, and then Crusher then attacks Martel as well, and basically has laid out both of the top contenders to the World Heavyweight Championship in one night. And overall, I bet this gets us a solid, let's see here, survey says 70. Okay, so a little under 4 stars, so I guess we're probably going to lose fans, but not that many. I would guess we're going to lose 500 fans or something like that. Survey says, okay. Oh, we actually gained 3,000. Okay, that's good. Let's see here. Yeah. So we're sort of in that really line between stale and not popular, which we need to build up. But yeah, fun stuff. Big John Studd is your new World Heavyweight Champion. Okay. That's interesting. so we got some okay, so unused championship. I mean, yes. Zybyko is cleared. Marcella, Steve Blackman, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Rick Martel. All right, and now Bad News Allen is here. And here's the thing: is I'm going to bring Allen as babyface only because I have no other. Like, I have way too many heels. Malenko, let's see here. How much do you want? Come on, come on. Don't be crazy. Let's start 250. Nope. All right, 300. There we go. All right, great. So if you want to guess who's going to be the guy who I keep around as the new challenger for Dean, there you go. Or for Owen. Another guy. Let's see here. Sabu, sure. Then if we go back to the company here, or I guess the roster, we're going to. Hey Owen, let's train you some charisma, buddy. And then also, let's see here. Bad News Allen comes in as a heel. So we are going to change your alignment to a babyface. Shit. Oops, sorry. Had a slight problem there. All right. Poster do a dive bomb attack from my wall. That was fun. Anyway, so let's book. Okay, so obviously we're gonna have a bit. Well, here officially it's gonna be a talk show segment, but in reality it's gonna be these guys all arguing. So gonna be Savage, Martel, and Crusher Jerry Blackwell. And there we go. Also do a production package with a recap. And we'll focus on the World Tag Team title match because we're setting this up later. All right, so then we're going to continue to put the Nasty Boys over. So it's going to be let's see here, Jerry Sags and Brian Knobbs going over the babyface team of Jake Milkman. Oops, not, and Chris Pepper. There we go. Sure. Let's see, injured. Injured. Let's see here. Nope. Return. I was forget like what stuff is actually available. Nope. Okay. But can we just? I always forget if we can just do a straight up. Let's see here. So let me try this. Sergeant Slaughter. Okay, there we go. So we can actually do this. So that's interesting. So actually, yeah, we can do this. We'll just have Larry Zybyko winning a squash match. Let's see here. Against your friend and mine, Reddingkins. So I'm just destroying Reddingkins here as a possible top guy, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. All right. So then we'll have Steve Regal making his return to the ring, and he can defeat. Black, sure. And so just like he's back, and he's gonna have one more match against Owen Hart, I guess. Ooh, okay. I have an idea for a feud, but we need an actual main event here. Well, okay, so we'll move the talk show down to here, just so I know what we're doing here. All right, so talk show match, talk show match, talk show. All right, so yes. What's the only way Bad News Allen can come in as a babyface? If he's feuding against somebody, not a feud. Um, I'm just going to name this. It's Colonel De Beers. What do you think? There you go. So yeah, it's Colonel De Beers going after Bad News Allen. What do you think is happening there? And then, okay, I actually like this part. So we're going to do Savage and Blackwell as a big TV main event. And then there's going to be something that happens during that match that'll set up our big match at the next show. So we got recap package, Nasty Boy Squash, setting up basically, I guess, going explaining the feud and then having our TV main event. Running in versus Zybyko, Sergeant Slaughter doing a promo saying he's going to be back soon, Lanza versus Regal, De Beers and Bad News Allen, and then Crusher Blackwell versus Randy Savage. Seems will probably be a solid show. Recap package, and it gets to 50%. Great, good stuff. Nasty Boys go over. Ouch. Only, yeah, I mean, I guess it is what it is. And yeah, 100%, 4.5 stars, good stuff, building up the feud between everybody. And then Zybyko kills him, 3.5 stars. Zybyko goes over for a promo, but the announcers basically say they have a special message. And Sergeant Slaughter saying he's going to be back very soon. And when he comes, he is going to remind Larry Zybyko that he is nothing but a little worm, scum piece of trash. And 90% because it's Sergeant Slaughter. Then we have Steve Regal coming back from injury, winning in a 3-star match, perfectly solid match. And then we have Colonel Bad News Allen making his debut. Colonel De Beers comes out, and Colonel De Beers says a lot of stuff which could not be repeated in 2023 on a wrestling show. And then we're going to have Randy Savage versus Crusher Blackwell, but it's going to end in interference when Big Van Vader comes out and helps Crusher Jerry Blackwell win the match. 3.5 stars again, but this sort of sets up our quasi big feud for the next couple, for at least the next show. As this gets us, still 3 stars, so we're going to lose. God. Okay. Well, we still gain. Okay, so we still gain fans, but we got. That makes no goddamn sense. I'm sorry. That's something. Usually, this game, even if it's wacky, makes sense. That did not make any sense. Anyway, so yeah, a new association, and okay, so and of course it's going to be Big Fan Vader and Crusher Jerry Blackwell. A lot of producer focus just because, and there we go. Then we're going to have a promo from the Road Warriors putting over, one more time. No, actually, what we're going to do is have a fight. Yeah. Okay, so surprise attack. Road Warriors are going to do a promo, but Bonk Stevens jumps them to sets up that, and then we're going to have a main event where Tommy Rich and Greg Gagne actually defeat Stan Lane and Steve Kern in a non-title match. Then for our other matches, we can have, let's see here. Yeah, we'll have Bad News Allen. Well, actually, we'll have Colonel De Beers winning a squash. Well, not a squash, but like a win over Cactus Jack. We'll have another match where we'll have, let's see here. And just because I can do it, Jerry Lawler versus Otto Wands in sort of a random good match as they'll take on each other. And then we can have a here, we'll do a split interview between Savage and Martel, basically putting over their teaming at the next show, but they're not going to, like, they're not friends, they're competitors, and they both want to be AWA World Champion, but for one night, they're teaming up to take apart Vader Blackwell. Let's see here. So yeah, Savage and Martel, Vader Blackwell, Jack Spears. There we go. Setting things up, and let's get rolling. And I'm sure you just heard that, and that was a poster, which I really need to get a new tape for, I guess. Anyway, 65% for Vader and Blackwell, now teaming up as Ultraviolent. Vader got over. Fun stuff. Then we had Colonel De Beers defeat Cactus Jack, a little under 3 stars. It is what it is. I'm sure Cactus Jack will have something fun to say in his book, a decade from now. Then we got Rory Trummer being jumped by Bachman and Stevens. Sets up a match between them at the next show. Jerry Lawler gets a win here. A little under 3 stars, nothing special. Just a win to get over Lawler. And then we have Savage and Martel putting each other over, but also agreeing once they get done with Blackwell and Vader, they're going to take on each other once again for the AWA World Championship. And then in our main event, Gagne and Rich get a shock win, a little under 3 stars, not the best match. Yeah, that's our thing is ironically, like, our actual promos aren't too bad. It's just our matches which aren't great. But 3.5 stars, and there we go. And this loads up. I'm going to guess we're going to lose a couple thousand fans. Well, we might not. We might not. We might be okay. Nope. Wow. Okay. This is only because every other show was freaking great. Okay. That's unfortunate. That hurt us. Okay. I mean, again, until we build people over, we're going to be sort of stuck in this, like, nowhere zone for a while, unfortunately. Anyway, let's do the show. Okay, so we got Stevens and versus the Road Warriors. We have a tag team match, which is going to be a 2-on-2 match. Well, yeah, obviously, as is Gagne, and Rich versus your World Tag and Southern Tag Team Champions, Lane and Kerr. We're going to have a big 2-on-2, as it's going to be Crusher Blackwell and Big Van Vader taking on Martel and Savage. Then, Bad News Allen versus Colonel De Beers. Oh, whoops, forgot to add that. Okay, so we need Bad News Allen versus Colonel De Beers. We'll do Owen versus Regal one more time. Well, I don't care that much. Like, we'll have Boris and Zood and Nord take on each other again, even though I didn't book them at all this week. But, they can just be our undercard feud. All right, so we got nothing for Zybyko, nothing for Lawler, nothing for Henning. So honestly, we can just do Zybyko versus Henning. That can be a new feud. And also we can do Lawler versus, let's see here. And we can do Lawler versus Mass Superstar on TV. There we go. All right, so. Okay, so we have this, which is an actual feud. De versus. Okay. Yeah. We go title match. Zord and Nukov open things up. And then we can have a 4-on-4. 4-on-4, not a tag team match. That's going to be all the leftover faces. Taking on the heels. Well, I guess the heels that actually matter. So here we go. Oh, whoops. Totally wait. Huh? Oh, I must have done the booking wacky. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so faces wise, we got Bill White, Chris Pepper. No, actually, we'll do here. Doug Summers, Ryder Reddingkins, Cactus Jack, and Steve-O. And then for heels, we got Jerry Sags, Ryan Knobs, Jimmy Garvin, and Otto Wands. And there we go. And let me see. Let's add a gimmick. This can be an elimination match, just sort of as a fun little thing on the undercard. We've got Nord versus Boris, which again we can add as a gimmick, a first blood match. Then yeah, there we go. Everything else. Yeah, this is sort of a wacky show. So we got our 8-man opener. Nord versus Boris are continuing their feud. Regal versus Owen. I mean, their feud's already been blown off, but there's no really other competition for Owen at the moment. Then we got Masked Superstar versus Jerry Lawler, and sort of the match to, you know, have Lawler on the show. Henning versus Zybyko in a random title match. Family Ones versus Gagne and Rich, which I set up. De Beers versus Bad News Allen. Bockwinkel and Steven versus Road Warriors, which is a feud that's been going on back and forth for a while. Then our really interesting main event here. So actually, we can do here is okay, yeah, we can do a fight afterward between Martel and Savage, sort of blow off the show. And then we can do, as far as production, we can do a video package for Your Friend and Mine, Sergeant Slaughter. Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot. I didn't realize I booked that many matches. Okay, never mind. That's fine. So let's roll with the show. Again, I'm lazy and I haven't changed the name of the show here, but this is a really interesting match. So here we go. So yeah. So of course the heels go over here. 4.5. Wow, Jesus. Okay, I did not expect that. So in a first blood match, actually, Boris can go over. Because just to sort of because you know Nord still hasn't been pinned, he just lost a first blood match. Owen goes over here. 4 stars still, despite the match being cold. Fun stuff. Details. Okay, yes. I mean, look, Malenko's not the most over guy, but it is what it is. But still, 4-star match after a 3.5 star, basically bloody brawl. Good stuff. Fabulous Ones just go over here, just 4-star match, just a match to put over Fabulous Ones as your reigning and defending AWA World and Southern Tag Team Champions, even though I forgot to put the Southern Tag titles on the line here. Then we got Henning versus Zybyko. Here's the thing. I'm tempted to put Henning over here just so he can have a feud for the Americas title, and then Zybyko and Slaughter can just be a blood feud. But here, just this is what we call in the business a cop-out finish, but we just gonna be a time limit draw as it plays out, and if the game ever rolls, yeah, 4 stars, good match, but basically, setting things up if necessary. This is just Lawler going over clean over Superstar, nothing fancy here, just a match on the show, and okay. So, I think what we'll do here is we'll do a DQ win for De Beers when basically Bad News Island goes crazy. And wow, these guys are not good in the ring. But still fun stuff as far as the show goes. Road Warriors kill Bockwinkel and Stevens. Just almost 5-star match. Just continue to put over the Road Warriors. Fun stuff. And then in the main event, I'm tempted to put Ultraviolent over here. But what I'll do is Martel and Savage are the 2 top stars for a reason. They win, almost a 5-star match. And then it's not really a fight, but really just a tense stare down, almost brawl as they, both look over the titles. And this almost gets 5 stars. So a really good show here, setting things up, and there we go. And overall, this gets us, okay, 115. We're back up to not popular. And yeah, let's just see what happens here. I'm going to guess we gain 12,000 fans. Excuse me. Survey says as this loads up. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, computer. I got faith in you. This is always the best part. Come on. All right. Ooh, we lost 5,000 fans. I guess because everything. Yeah, Survivor Series was a. Okay, so just basically, GCP was a 5-star show, and yeah, that's it. Wow. Okay, and World Carnival was a 4.5 star. Okay, that's unfortunate. But let's see what people want. All right. Actually, yes, I cannot pass up because I don't really have a women's division. Great. Um, you know, that's fine. Do you have another idea, Nick Bonk? Uh, sure. We can slightly change your look. Um, honestly, sure. Why not? Okay, we got Training Charisma, we got an award, so yeah. Why did you go to? Why did you go to a 1985 REO Speedwagon concert together? Malenko, all right, he's here. Damn, Sabu wasn't recruited. That's unfortunate. So what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and first do that. So we'll go back to the Indies. Is there anybody? We'll try Al Snow just because. So there we go. And we'll recruit Al. What is our staff doing? Okay, so recruiting Al Snow. Producers are producing. Doctors, doctors. There we go. So, again, just to close things out, we got Savage versus Martel, which is still continuing on. We got Stevens and Nick Bonk and Stevens versus Road Warriors, which can continue possibly, probably after the Road Warriors Fabulous Ones feud blocks off. Stevens versus Lawler, which probably can blow off this coming up next month. Fabulous Ones versus Road Warriors, which is getting to its end. Henning versus Bisco, which just started. Blackwell versus Savage, which also can blow off. Ooh, that's actually something interesting we can do here. Then we can do Blackwell versus Martel, Bad News Allen versus Colonel De Beers, Blackwell versus Henning, Gagne versus Blackwinkle, which can also probably blow off, and then Zukov versus Barbarian. So interesting stuff as we go to, I guess, AWA Showdown. Let me just go to the manage company events. Let me look at our calendar. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I don't really care about the names that much. Like, I'll go through, maybe mess with them in a bit, but that's not the end of the world. But hey, that's it for now. 2 months, another, we're through October here. So I think this is a solid bit of shows. Again, Martel's still solidly our world champion, like doing great. Lawler and Savage, it's interesting that they're here. But yeah, outside of that, if you enjoyed this, go ahead and give a like, comment below what you're enjoying, not enjoying, subscribe to the channel for plenty of content like this, my TW 2020 content, some Victoria 3 content, Crusader Kings 3 content, and who knows what else will pop up. But that's it for now, so talk to you later, and adios. Have a good one.